Guys, Snoopa's still a problem. Man, that's right. We have got absolutely star-encrusted lineup here. So let's waste no more time getting into this one, because I'm hyped to see what we're going to get. Because remember, folks, this is the free-for-all format, so no teaming. Although I guess, you know, subtle teaming could, maybe not be encouraged, but could occur. But overall, this is pretty hype. I mean, this is... I think I've done the maths. I've rounded up a little bit, but I think this is about a 15.5k elo game to be mathematically accurate. Maybe give or take 100 here or there. But it's around the 15.5k elo mark. With people like, you know, Muslim, Wham, and Poppy Pool especially all being inflated above the 2k mark. So padding the difference to those that are 18 or 1900. So apparently Pathalos is Calp. And if that is correct, then yes, that would inflate us basically towards the 2k mark, because Calp had multiple accounts up there. I think he sunk a little bit on the unranked. It's a little bit hard to do the metrics right now. Of course, you got to remember, ranked just came out, so we're in the middle of a transition away from the unranked formula. But for the moment, because those big numbers are bigger and shinier, we like to use them from the unranked elo ratings. But anyway, look at this. We have got a crazy amount of play. What? Oh my god, there's going to be so much blood spilt here. Wow, these guys are following real-life civilization laws here. You know, you build your base next to a river, right? That's how it works. It's not wrong. It's not incorrect. Holy crap, though. Look how chill Snoopa and Muslim are over here. Muslim being the corner camper in this game, and then, of course, being joined down here by Snoopa. So these guys, they got plenty of room to spread. But by the way, beautiful mountain right here. I mean, this could be featured in the Lord of the Rings trilogy here. Good lord, look at this. If you went and hid here, nobody would ever find you, right? I mean, I'm not suggesting it. I definitely... All right. Matisse. Yep, Matisse agrees with my statement there. If you go and hide here, nobody's ever going to find you. Now, the question is it... Oh, no. Okay, there's one deep water fish, so this isn't a complete waste, but I don't think that Matisse sees this. No, he doesn't even know. Oh, that stings. So he's basically built a dock in his eyes for absolutely no reason at all, despite the fact there's a few deep water fish back there. That's actually painful right there. Dude, should have went to Specsavers, mate. Like, clearly wasn't wearing your glasses. Couldn't see this. I mean, that is one of the most absurd spawns I think I've seen for a deep water fish. Like, just look at it. It's barely in the limits. Oh, poor lad. Meanwhile, over here, look who's got a better bang for buck opportunity. Snoopa, he's got the double deep water, triple deep water, and he'll spot them all on the move down. And he's even got some... Wait, come on. This is not fair to Matisse. The amount of fishies you just got compared to him. Well, luckily, there's plenty of fish to be had on the riverfront. I love this generation, by the way. Like, look at this river network. This looks so hype, so fun to combat around. I'm a little bit questioning of how much, you know, it's going to matter in this, simply because you have got 6 people on this same chunk of land, all up and down the river, like they're playing a game of Civilization and they need to get the seafront for the bonuses at the beginning of their city. But I'm intrigued to see how Nevix is going to do. Like, this guy, he's the stereotypical FPS gamer in a lot of strategy gamers' eyes. In that, like, they imagine this person that just sits in a corner all game long. Like, every time we watch Nevix in these mega randoms, he goes straight for a corner. And that's what he's done once again. This time it's actually going to be as the Abbasses, though. I believe when we watched the game that Beastie was in with Nevix, Salami, Core, Recon, and a bunch of others, it was as the English. But you know what? I think he's going to find a way to chill back. Like, the Abbasses in the late game are no joke right now. The age of Pew Pew is upon us. Archers are dominant everywhere. And for real, the composite bows is so good now. So the Abbasses kind of changed their timing. I feel like they're more an Imperial Civ than they are a castle anymore after all the nerfs around Siege and also the build-up of it. You know what? The Muslim, he never changes, right? It doesn't matter where you catch him. I feel like every time I watch this guy in pro or I watch him in pubs, I'm almost always seeing him play as the English. And he'll be cozy and Kushki in his corner. I wonder if we've got any kind of weird picks here. I mean, Matisse playing as the HRE might seem weird to some people, but it's fully expected here. Like, I wouldn't expect anything else. For those that are unfamiliar with Matisse, when the game first came out, this guy was just one of the HRE sages, right? He knew this Civ inside out. He learned it very quickly. He was a big innovator. He was the guy who actually innovated the quadruple stable drop Castle Age Rush It was incredibly effective, actually. It dominated the ladders for, I think, like 2 weeks, I'd say, before it started to peter off. Not everyone actually started to whip it out because not everybody was confident in the HRE at the time, as it was the first 2 months release. But in more recent days, Matisse, I feel like I saw him switching over to the Roost. Like, he was very hard on the grind as the Roost when the... just before the Boar meta hit, actually. Now, the thing with MegaRandom to keep in mind, by the way, like, these guys did have choices as to where they could place their bases. You can actually see this as well come into effect. The way MegaRandom Nomad works is, well, for a start, the map is mega random, as you can see by all the crazy generation elements. But also, because of the Nomad tuning pack, your villages start separated in 3 different locations, and you don't have a town center to start with. So you get the option to choose where you want to structure your base around, which I really like, actually. I wouldn't necessarily be against having that in standard AoE to see how it like functions, if it's actually a good fit with the archaic designs of maps, because it might at least alleviate some of the issues around poor generations, I think. But one other thing, by the way, someone, because we got Dinky in the chat, we'll definitely be able to confirm this. The picks, the Civ picks, I can't remember. Were you guys playing with random, or did you pick here? Because I know some of these sets have been done where you can't pick your Civ at all, and other ones are do what you want. I'm kind of thinking that this is do what you want, just because of the choices, but apparently, yeah, it is always random. I had to double check that simply because we've got Snoopa on the Abbasids, like plays a lot of Abbasids, or did in the past. The Muslim got the English, Matisse got the HRE, and then you've got Wham and David Kim on pretty respectable French picks. Like, overall, a lot of these picks I was looking at is like, this kind of seems like people did get to select their civs, but nah, luck of the draw. Working out perfectly for Benny Boy in his first MegaRandom. Speaking of Benny Boy, already rushing up. Abbey of Kings coming out, because why would you want double bow? Might as well get the heals right. It's not like he's going to be harassed anytime soon. And Dinky trying to plead that he's not a deli abuser. I guess this is him just trying to give himself an excuse as to why maybe he's going to get pinched first. Now, for those that haven't seen this series so far and how it has been playing out, I would first of all advise going and checking out the rest of the videos on the YouTube side. But our boy Dinky here, he's something of a cockroach. He's one of the Australian cockroaches, I believe the breed is called. No matter what happens, this guy always finds a way to survive. He wiggles his way out of a box, out of death. You think he's been stomped out when multiple players pinch him, but somehow he wiggles his way over to a corner, rebuilds, and ends up usually being in the top 3 at the end. So we'll see what he can do in this sort of game, because yeah, he's going to experience some aggression, right? Nevix to the north of him, he's got Matisse to the south, and also the gold has been fully yoinked. Oh, but the transport ship. All right. My boy Dinky, here he comes. Boy likes boats. Now, that is a little bit of a pricey investment, 100 wood just to get across here, but it will at least give him access to gold, and then he has the backup of the berries afterwards. In fact, a pretty hype play that Dinky could do here is he could look to maybe stop drunk walking with villagers would be a good... Okay, so Dinky is confirmed a terrible leader. His people have deserted him. They are migrating south, so that they may join the Holy Roman Empire, if they'll have them. Because they've got... Dinky, buddy. They've got so far to go. Oh, no. I mean, if he didn't have a transport ship, we probably wouldn't question this play, right? Because we always forget transport ships exist. But Dinky definitely pointed us towards it. The best part is he actually uses it for the scout. That's the best part of all this. Yet the villagers are still on a hike all the way down and up the river again. You know what? Up and down the river. Look what Wham's got over here. Wow, this is really far away from his own base, but this is actually going to be beautiful for his economy. I don't see him getting harassed anytime soon. A lot of these other players aren't getting similar value, so Calp's just chopping trees over here. He hasn't built into the docks. You are going to see the same move coming out of Puppy Paw. Probably some conspiracy theories to be had here. Bro, let's not attack each other. It's a good fishing life. Because admittedly, they could start attacking each other now. Right, so Wham just cracked up into Feudal. And Puppy Paw's not going to be far behind him. At which stage, they are both playing the French that like to build Hulk. So this could get spooky really fast. He's doing it again. Oh my god, Puppy Paw and Wham love this kind of crap. They love finding a corner where nobody's at, and then they do these type of exploited plays. He's going into the Chamber of Commerce, which, the Chamber of Commerce, the only places I see that he can trade with, there's no way. Okay, there's one over here. But that means you have to go across the waterfront. So you actually have to hold the waterfront or you're going to get pinned. So really, he only has 2 viable options by the looks of it. Well, I'd say 1 because this is not a viable option, folks. Like, this is a viable option if they were armored caravans. But they're not because if they do come this way, they'll be being peppered by Snoopa's TCs. So the most likely play, if he wants to do the trade, it has to be the center mass here. But that's kind of risky. That's a long distance. It goes right through the middle of the map. And as we just highlighted, it goes straight through Wham's naval territory. So, you know, your donkeys are going to get filled full of ballista. Just realized how gruesome that is to say out loud. I mean, I don't think you can really be filled with ballista as much as the ballista becomes filled with donkey. I guess, really, if anything, you're just creating donkey shish kebabs, right? So, don't do the trade is my advice here after that dark thought. It would especially be worrying considering how close the Muslim is. Like, the Muslim might even spot this. I don't believe Puppy... No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know about this at all. So he might be in for a rude awakening if he does go into the trade. And also, this is worrisome if this is your backup landmark situation. If you're worried about getting sniped and this is your fallback plan, buddy, I got bad news for you. Benny Boy ain't far away. And also, Benny Boy is booming. King's Palace almost complete already. Why does the villager keep stopping? I keep noticing that. Like, there's a reason the puppy paw is late compared to everyone else. It's not just the fact there's one villager. It's every once in a while, the villager keeps AFKing. I don't know. I guess this is like modern working standards. You got to have a coffee break every half an hour. You know how it is. And here we go. This is the player I was waiting to see Dinky do. We were kind of looking to highlight it before he gave us other things to focus on. The TC on the right side. It just makes sense, right? You want to expand eco in both ways. You don't want to have it all centralized where you're already being pressured. As we can see, Nevix is starting to ramp up an archer count. And already has the Rams coming out. Because remember, the Abbasids, they don't need to build a blacksmith. They just get this by default. So things are quickly getting frisky in Nevix's base. Or Dinky's base, rather. The cool thing, of course, Dinky, he did build the Tower of Victory on the other side of the river. So he can't be instant eliminadoed. And that does mean that even after his TC's gone, he'll survive. Pressure will then go back and forth, probably between Matisse and Nevix. Which means that Dinky, in theory, should be quite safe to the north here. Cool detail happening over here, by the way. Cal, he is extending for a secondary TC over where his woodline was. So he's actually going to start to boom in this area and become a threat on this island. Does need to be careful of this, though. You can already see what's happening here. Wham and Poppy Paw are in the area with Hulks. So they are going to start patrolling this waterfront. It's not going to be easy to expand out from here. Well, the amount of TC booming going on, right? You just got to. Obviously, the Muslim didn't really go for it because, well, you just rush Castle Age and get that TC boom anyway, the King's Palace. He might think about a third TC, though. There's a lot of value in this area to exploit. Depends how quickly you want to go beyond your means, right? Right now, he's got a chill corner where no one's going to bother him. Do you really want to give that up or sacrifice that? Wham. Buddy. Wham? I guess he really wants to optimize in the early game, in that he doesn't want to have to come back for any trees later, I guess. Either that or Wham had a really bad experience in like a national forest or park or something. And ever since then, he just can't tolerate straggler wood trees. Like, you know, he doesn't want to be lost in forests. He's at least making a pretty housing district out of this. For a moment, I thought this was my gameplay. This was well too organized for a housing area, to be honest. So Tech Up's coming out. Matisse, no surprise there, is going to crack up a Castle Age, second player to do so. And I don't think he's had much military presence so far, so I'm kind of surprised he was this delayed. Really just gives credit to what Demuslim's doing, right? The speed at which he, and the pace with which he actually boosted up in the castle ahead of everyone else is interesting, considering Matisse didn't really build military forces, right? He hasn't got anything here but eco. So I'm kind of surprised he got beaten to the punchline, especially considering he went for an Arkan Chapel with the trip value. But actually, when you think about it, you can see the difference that causes this problem, right? The reason Demuslim was able to crack castle first is the farms. Both of them went for it. The difference being that the Muslim paid half of the resource to get it. And while you do get a 40% resource buff as the HRE, that still doesn't like necessarily gap close the difference of the 50% on all these farms. Well, we check back in with Dinky. We can see he's being finished off here. Not in a way that leaves a smile on your face and gives you a little bit of nap time feel to you. No, instead, this is going to be one of those ways that doesn't feel comfortable. However, luckily for Dinky, he's started to boom on the other side, probably mocking his opponent in the chat right now, going, ha 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 ha, sucker, you'll never find me. Oh no, but he's the sucker, Nevix! He's like, I don't know what this was all about, but I can do it too. Only he's gonna go the wrong way. Nevix, use a scout. Wait, there's no way he didn't see that, right? I don't think he saw that, folks. He has got the, okay, he's got the scout. He did see that. He's just waiting. But why? Just build more ramps. Come on. You can see everything here. Just go for it. Yeah, I think Nevix has been crippled on the 1v1 ladders by all of the outpost spamming, and now he just kind of gets PTSD whenever he sees them, because it looks like he's going to bide his time. He can push more troops across, and I feel like at that stage, Dinky might be first eliminated at this rate, simply because he doesn't have anywhere left to go, and it doesn't actually have room to build a military. Yeah, this is looking bad, folks. This is looking bad for Dinky fans. This is once again looking bad for the Australians. They're only going to have Snoopa in the mixer soon at this rate. Meanwhile, on the south, like, it's not going to get any easier. As these players start to expand and move onto the right side island, like, everything's going to get very much choked in. Here it comes. Villagers forced to address the ram. Have to peel back, though. Range battalion just too problematic. The upgrades are starting to come through, so Dinky, these towers are going to last a little bit longer, and it looks like Nevix is going to back off at the moment. He really needs to get more rams. We'll finally wheel the other one off and across with the transport ship. Took a little bit longer than expected to do so, by the way. Really needs to go up to 3 rams. I feel like 3 rams is like something that Dinky isn't prepared for. Of course, we have God Vision, right? We can see this all. We know that he doesn't have a standing army, but I think Nevix is being very paranoid because he doesn't have that same layer of information yet. Well, speaking of info, given Matisse, he's telling everyone to back the hell off up in the Imperial Age as quickly as possible, as you'd expect out the HRE. Now with the Love Hotel online, he can start bumping and grinding and pushing out those workers left, right, and center. So he will start to boom quick. Nevix still only on 2 TCs compared to Dinky, who did go back up those 2. But let's see how long they're going to last. Pushing, coming out. Rams taking heavy damage. But it's the same for the outpost as well. And whoopsie, Nevix staying a little bit too close here, trying to protect the rams from the torch of the villagers. He's a little bit off the mark for the micro. Doesn't get the best of opportunities. Textiles actually making this very frustrating. Dinky's not going to go down easily. First outpost will fall. But even if it does, it's not really going to matter much. The rams get targeted out. The repairs come out from Dinky. But honestly, it's just 1 outpost for 2 rams, a few villagers. It doesn't mean Dinky's dead yet. He's going to be able to hold on. And the important detail is how do you want to address this waterfront right now? Because you are pinned in there. You need to go to the east side, but notice that the whole while Wham has been parked here. So while Dinky does survive, he's far from out of the woods yet. Not just because there's loads of trees around him, but because there are a bunch of wolves in these forests, right? You've got the blue wolves, you've got the cyan wolves, you've got the pink wolves, you've got the purple, and of course the orange. They're all around you, and they are waiting to pounce at any sign of weakness. Speaking of the cyan wolf, little raids coming through. So DeMuslim getting active onto the expansion base for Pathless, aka Kalp. Kalp so far hasn't really been harassed in his primary either. He's had a very chill game for someone that's sitting parked straight in the center of the map. Kind of surprising here. But I guess there's this kind of weird balance of power in this triangle here, right? You've got Puppy Paw, Wham, and also Kalp within kissing distance of each other. And if you jump on one, the other player might jump on you. So you've got to keep that balance. Instead, they'll just try to wait each other out, probably try to get backup bases, backup options, and we can start to see that coming out. Wham, he built a guild hall right next to the edge of the map to ensure he doesn't get landmark sniped. We already saw the same coming out of Puppy Paw, but less successful because it did eventually get spotted out by DeMuslim. And then, of course, when we look across at Kalp, he also done a similar thing, mirrored exactly what Wham done with the guild hall, but built it into a bigger base. I actually like this. It's very smart. Like, not enough players have been doing this so far. They have been condensing themselves, and it does make them easy to snipe. I mean, I don't want to focus too much on Dinky, because in this situation, he didn't have a choice. But if I recall correctly, in the first instance of MegaRandom Free-For-All we cast, he had 3 landmarks on the same screen, was it? Actually, I think it was 2, and then 1 just off to the side. That was admittedly a victim of circumstance, but sometimes you just got to take the risk. You got to shift away. But the Muslim... Oh my god. We've been distracted by the north. Snoopa stuck in. Snoopa actually stuck in on DeMuslim. And this is because he was away. He was raiding up in the north. Speaking of the north. Wall in starting to occur for Nevix. He'll protect himself, but Dinky King's coming back for his old land. Won't be able to find it as easily. But Snoopa, he's the one to watch right now. He's raiding through. He went into Camel Riders. Camel Riders plus the Lancers, which completely alleviates anything the Muslim can do because he's full cavalry composition. Oh no! He's going to force a fight in the choke point. To his benefit, crossbows being targeted by a few horsemen, but the wraparound, it's just not effective trades right now. The Muslim, he's in trouble. He needs a transition and he needs it soon. Because stables are not going to cut it. They're just going to cut you out of this game. Snoopa looking dominant right now. We didn't even check in on him. We expected to come back a few minutes later because he's had a free south side of the map. But you know what? He didn't wait back. He didn't chill. He said it wasn't enough. He wanted more land. He rushed out and he looked to punish, and he's doing exactly that to Benny Boy. The Muslim gets the keep up, holds on for the moment. Now, these Camel Riders are still problematic. They are still unaddressed. But the Muslim, he doesn't even try to hang around. He gives up. Oh, my God. Ben, what? You get the keep up. You maybe consolidate yourself for a moment, but you know what? He has to console himself. He doesn't feel like there's anywhere out this corner, and I gotta see where he's coming from. Maybe a little bit premature, but really, where do you run and hide? There's no room to expand behind you. You've got limited resources. There's just a critical mass of cavalry coming your way. The keep buys you 2 or 3 minutes, but the only way you survive is if Snoopa gets attacked. And Ben says, you know what? I win or lose based on my own credence. I am not going to wait for someone to attack Snoopa so I can survive to fight another day. I either live or I die by the right of my own rule, and as a result, he will wave that white flag. Well, I believe this is where Snoopa can reappropriate the eco and military if he wants, actually. There's quite a lot of villages here that could be persuaded to the way of the Abbasid Empire. You know, maybe a little bit of Catholicism is overrated. I've heard the English are historically a little bit chez-le-fait on which religion that they want to support. Maybe that's something that Snoopa could take advantage of. He is moving out for the Imam Relic now. I mean, you got to take it, right? Like, what's his eco at right now? He probably is already capped. Yeah, he's at 120, so maybe he doesn't need the villies as much as we would expect. But, you know, if the opportunity's there, let's face facts here, folks. At the end of the day, when AoE4 is gone, if you can put on your CV that you wallowed the Muslim for over 30 units, you'll take that. You'll take that. Actually, it might be about 25. That's still an acceptable number. And now look what Snoopa does with the appropriated land. He's like, okay, and now we shall begin trade. And there it is. Let me just get these people back to work. Make sure that they're adding to the coffers of a not dead player. And 22 new villagers. Snoopa just flexing, saying, yeah, nobody else could pull a wall like that off against a Muslim. He would have noticed. And now the market's coming online. He'll be able to get more efficient eco, right? He won't need to rely on the villagers as much. And I don't think he's going to be under pressure anytime soon. In fact, Snoopa, he could just begin to extend, build up a ginormous fortress, and turn himself into the end game boss, right? Just literally build walls, keeps, and outposts along the riverfront and challenge every player to come fight you. Like, he actually has a pristine location to think about a monument victory later on. So I'll have to see if he actually goes for that or Wonder. I always get them mixed up. I think monument is AoE 1 and 2. You know what? It's time to check back in the north because the player that should have died first has been somehow surviving. The Australian cockroach still lives in his corner, and look what he's been doing. He expands inland so he cannot actually be obliterated straight away by Nevix. It means that Nevix will have to make the uncomfortable migration across the river or be forced to reallocate his attention towards Matisse, who has been chilling the south with little pressure. Although that might start to change soon, as it looks like David Kim has come upon his eco. And you can see what's going to start happening here, folks. Oh, the pressure that's coming out. It's happening in the base. I was about to say they're getting a little bit too close to each other, and look what comes out of Wham. He drops the Red Pals right in the base of Puppy Paw, and Puppy Paw has already lost the TC to it. Oh, my goodness. And now the Villager Pool just trying to push Puppy Paw away. However, this maybe is ill-advised. Son, I think you just sacrificed the Red Pass to sacrifice a bunch of villagers as well, as there's no way you're going to be able to repair that in time. So it looks like Puppy Paw is going to stay alive, but Puppy Paw in a fragile state. Remember, he can't expand to the north because he just spotted out what's up here, right? He's having to face off against Matisse, who controls the hill. South is a no-go, and East, don't even get me started, because Kalp, well, he's the fishing eco boy. Like, he's the naval supremacy of the French. And even if you try to pressure him, he's still going to survive through it out. Oh, well, you won't, right? Like, you're going to get pressured out from another side. Even if you eliminate Kalp, he's parked up here. He's chill mode. He's vibing. He's having a good time. And here we go. Outpost starting to come out. So Snoopa has shifted into that form. The ratty form. So we've got the Australian cockroach and we've got the Australian rat now. I'm not going to do him like that. I mean, you can see how ratty this can get, though, where I'm coming from, in that, like, this is a pretty chill state of the game for Snoopa. He doesn't have to get involved, but if he chooses to, there's no risk to him. It's a very ratty style where, you know, the approach he's going to take to this game is almost naturally evasive to any sort of rebuttal. If he goes and attacks a player, they're not like to come and attack him back just because he's too far out in the middle of no man's land. Like, it's just not comfortable to fight into. Especially considering how condensed everyone else's bases are. And, ooh, look at this. Puppy Paw. The brothers are turning against each other here. So Red Pile's down. TC's exposed. School Cavalry's exposed. I don't think that Puppy Paw knows about the Guildhall yet, but he'll find it quickly. And with this many Trebs, where's Wham's defense force? Oh my god, they've been so busy butchering each other, they've barely got anything left. And Kalp is surviving all this merely by being passive, okay? He's actually not playing the French, by the way, folks. He's playing Switzerland. It's very clear now. I see it. Because he's just keeping peace with everyone around him. Just make himself look lethal enough that they don't want to attack. Ay. Speaking of attack, Puppy Paw moving in. Wait, did I... The ultimate French BM, folks. The Gallias. It has ass in the name, and it makes you look like an ass in the game. Because it does nothing. It's 130 damage every 5 seconds. And that is it. Like, you just take a Hulk, folks. Just take Hulks. These Gallias are terrible. I don't understand how these have still not been buffed. Actually, I do know how these haven't been buffed. It's like naval right now is a precarious thing that they don't really want to put any buffs into, shall we say. I feel like it's more targeted nerfs right now because, well, naval warfare is a little bit of a mess. And as a result, this poor thing has gone unaltered for several months now, despite the fact that it is arguably the worst choice of investment you can make. At 660 resources for this unit. No. Just no. You know what? Looks like it got its value. It killed a dock, folks. Round of applause for the Gallius. Puppy Paw leading the way, showing us a future for the unit. I'm not sure if... Is my sarcasm working on this microphone? I think so. No. Pushing forward. Knights is not going to save Wham at this rate. Wham is very much in trouble. He needs a way out, and he needs it soon. However, he doesn't have the military infrastructure. Like, he went all in on the Imperial. In fact, this was way too greedy. This is the difference, right? Puppy Paw. Think about this logically, economically. 3,600 resources used in a tech up. And while we're talking about this in the north, oh my god, Dinky went back in! Oh my god! Dinky snuck in with the elephants! Wow. I did not see that coming. Not so quickly, anyway. Dinky strikes back, and now Matisse is moving in, so Dinky will shift away before it becomes his problem. But Alephanto Fun Time is a little bit too strong. Nevix, the corner camper, will fall again. Wow. Dinky, the rat. Okay, the cockroach. He lives on. While others die, and they die at his hand, and this is the credit of Dinky, and this is the way he does it. He doesn't just sit around and wait for top two. He will move out. He will get his vengeance. And Nevix will be the third player eliminated here. Actually, second? It's close because Wham's gone as well. He actually just GG'd out. He didn't even wait around for the Guildhall to be found. So 2 players going down in the blink of an eye here in the north and south. And it means we've only got 5 people left. And this is where things are going to get hot and heavy fast. Like, look at the situation for Kalp. Kalp parked next to the recovering economy of Puppy Paw and also the booming military and eco force that is Matisse. Meanwhile, Kalp although, you know, he has to worry about this, he has got the reservist force. He's got the backup base. The concern with this, however, is now that Dinky King is done with his grudge match in the north, he's probably likely to turn his attention towards you because he doesn't want to fight into Matisse. Like, that's a kind of losable fight from your situation right now. You haven't boomed enough. However, Calp, with a split-up base like this, could be a victim. And here we go, Dinky. Oh, my God! He can't even get all the villages. He handpicks the ones that he thinks are pretty enough, and then he throws the other ones into a hole. Oh, my goodness. Now, remember, folks, that's the way it works. If you're pop capped, or going beyond 200, rather, you can't get the remaining units. They'll just be killed. That's why those villagers did go down like that. Dinky's feeling pretty damn good about himself right now. He's going to start yoinking all the resources as quickly as possible. What's his eco at now? 155! Oh! Good lord. For those wondering, like, what the income of the players are, or, you know, what the chat is, we don't have that option, I'm afraid. That is not an option. I would love to see Relic add that soon. Fingers crossed we do eventually get that. But for now, we just have to assume that they are all agreeing that Snoopa needs to die. Because this is ridiculous. I think we already know what's coming, right? We know what's going to happen. In 10, 15 minutes or so from now. I mean, if we look at the eco of Snoopa right now, he's hoarding for a reason. Because he knows eventually he's going to have to switch from eco to military. And have a sizable force to hold back all the remaining opponents coming to stop him from getting a Wonder victory. Because this is prime Wonder territory at this rate. If he keeps layering the outpost on the way back, it's going to delay his opponent so damn long that he should be able to easily cruise through to a dub. And remember, folks, in the late game, what is a valuable resource is population. Well, Snoopa doesn't need to worry about that because outposts don't cost population. And they're so strong, they can beat Galliuses. Just look at that. I don't know if this is to the credit of the strengths of outposts or to just highlight the weaknesses of Galliuses. But either way, bye-bye. Yeah, go away like you were never here. You are pure trash. Why is he... I think Calp is just kind of roleplay. Like, he's just trying to make that pretty base thing happen, right? When I see a mixture of Galliuses, Hulks, and Carracks from the French, I feel like he's just trying to make prettiness on his seafront. Yes, these Carracks are almost as bad as the Galliuses. Luckily, they have the benefit of doing more damage, having more health, and then also having more range. Right? Oh god, could you imagine if Carracks had 8 tower range and Galliuses had 9? Nah. Let's not make that change happen. Let's leave Galliuses as dumpster tier. I'm kind of okay with the French not being good on water after how the game began. We all remember those days. We try not to. Now Matisse, he's starting to tap all the resources dry, so he's starting to move into contested territory, but it's only lightly contested. However, at this rate, he will run into Dinky, and Dinky, oh, it's the Elephanto boys. Well, so far, they have notched 1 pro player on their belt as eliminated. Can they make it 2? We'll have to see. Dinky, feeling like he needs to throw away something soon. I say that. His food is not healthy. Like, this move, if you have to replace him, is not healthy. He needs more land, though. That's the issue. With the place he chose on the map, or the place he was forced to go, rather, notice he had very limited farmland. He can go back for this western side, but I think he's too paranoid about what's going to happen from Matisse. Like, if he does go there, he probably gets pressured. We already saw Matisse sneak up here before with a ram and the hand cannoneers, and only back off because he saw Nevix was already dead. Oh. No, Jimmy. Well, Calp, are you going to eat that? It's pretty wasteful to let an elephant just rot like that. Everything's really got chill all of a sudden. You can tell the people are waiting for a fight to kick off. The reason being is when you get to this kind of stage, like, there's still an awkward balance of power to think about. Like, players can turn on you instantly. Let's say Matisse attacks Calp. Well, then, would you expect Puppy Paw to attack Calp? Not really, because it's not the final 3. Like, in this situation, it would make more sense for him to go after Matisse, because Matisse is clearly the strongest player. At least in the north. We won't talk about the south. Although the south is coming to play. This is what we were highlighting before, right? Is that Snoopa can come up here, and he can pressure, he can raid, he can do whatever he wants, and there should be next to no punishment for it. Because what are you going to do, right? Like, are you going to run all the way south to attack him? What happens back in your base when that occurs? All it takes is someone typing in all chat, yo, bro, there's Kelp army in my base. You might want to check him out right now, Dinky. Now, I'm not saying that they would resort to such filthy tactics, but they might. And I can't tell because I can't see the chat. But here we go. Ram's coming out. Snoopa, he wants to be reunited with his Aussie bro, mainly so he can kill him. That's the truest of honors when you say, you know, only I can kill this lad. Feels that way as well. Because the cockroach and rat are going to collide very soon, considering Kelp's base cannot hold against this. In fact, I don't think he's that invested in protecting it anymore, which is a little bit concerning considering he has a guild hall and he has the red pass. Maybe it's the resource side of things that's looking bad for Kelp. Yeah, the goal's not healthy right now. He's being pressured meanwhile. He actually went north. He actually started a fight with Matisse. Oh, no. Folks, this is not the way. You do not start a fight with Matisse when you're being sieged by another player like this. You're just drawing all attention towards you, and here it comes. Full-on destruction. Kelp looking like he could end up being the 4th player eliminated here. As pressure comes in on the western base and the eastern base simultaneously. Rams taking their time, working their way through. Kelp being picked to the bone. Trying to take what he can from the center Mass Islands, but this is not going to float for long, and all it takes is Puppy Paw turning his attention to the east for him to be in big doo-doo. In fact, right now, the play for Puppy Paw would be to intercept to the north side and start pressuring into Matisse's base. Because when Matisse is done with this opponent, you know exactly where he's going afterwards. I mean, what can I say? They're both French. In Matisse's eyes, they're both the same enemy here. And there we go. He is actually going to shift across. So, interesting balance here. Matisse, he's trying to keep the triangle in his favor, right? He doesn't want to show too much favorability to one of his stepchildren in this situation. He wants to make sure he's evenly punishing them so that he won't get spanked from behind afterwards. And thus he'll start marching in. Meanwhile, in the northern base, Snoopa's almost done with it. I mean, there's not much left here. You can see he's building up a small defense force, but Kelp, he's really struggling to actually keep it going. The housing situation, the housing crisis in French, is the big problem here. Meanwhile, south side. Raid through. Matisse. What is this? Matisse? Has he decided that he just wants to be, like, the blue player now? Because there's nothing down here. This could be him just trying to get info on where everyone is and what's happened. But, like, he should kind of be aware that, like, there's opponents right next to you, and you just ran your entire army to the south. 78 of your pop cap is locked in military. Practically all of it is here. So all it now takes is both these players to pinch you on the north side, and you're going to lose a lot of infrastructure. This is a very dangerous play out of Matisse. It almost feels like a kind of fake back where you pull yourself to the south, and your opponents then think they can go north, and you backstab. But I don't think that's what it is. It's just some funky moves coming out. I think he just wants more info on the map. Meanwhile, Kelp does lose the guild hall now. It's getting small real fast up here. Dinky King, how is our resident cockroach doing? I feel like he's fully recovered, really. He just needs to build up surplus now. And he's doing that. Yeah. A healthy amount as well. Hasn't... Dinky, buddy. Dinkster? Sir? Wait, Pathless is a different person, right? So why have people been telling me it's Kelp? I'm confused. I knew I'd seen that name somewhere. They're literally in my chat right now. So I can ask them. Pathless, are you Kelp? Or are you someone else? We spent 40 minutes saying you're Kelp because someone lied to me in the chat. Multiple people lied to me in the chat. Okay, so apologies for that, folks. Let's give Pathless the attention he deserves. This guy is his own person, his own independent person, as we can see in a Twitch chat right now. And right now, he is desperately trying to survive. He's going to have to rebuild the entire Eastern Battalion here. Western Battalion is still not sieged. This feels really weird. I'm shocked by the fact that Matisse hasn't struck at either player here. This kind of feels like the the parent that sees both of their children fighting, and they're like, figure it out yourself, and they shut them in a room. Okay, I shouldn't say this as an actual parent. This is really painting a picture that's going to lead to phone calls being made. But it kind of just feels like Matisse is expecting them to fight each other. It's like, I'm just going to remove myself from the equation. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Thumbs up. And they've just chosen to sit there, waiting for him to come back. It's like when he left the room, everything just paused. What is this? Everyone talks about the frontline war. Nobody talks about the economical war. The villagers aren't even attacking each other. They're just gathering right next to each other. Oh, God. It's a fire sale in the wood department. They're just, they're there right now. They're just lumberjacking out. They just chop. It's like, quick, get rid of the trees before they get rid of the trees. Yeah, but these axes are pretty sharp. Can't we just, can we just attack each other? No. Just get rid of the wood. So apparently they had peace. Like, someone's going to betray this peace. Someone always does. This is not how you play it, folks. Come on. Are they just waiting for Snoopa to give them a reason? I think they are. Like, they'll see the scores, right? They're like, Snoopa's pretty far ahead. He hasn't committed to a wonder yet. I can tell you why Snoopa hasn't as well. Snoopa's a smart cookie, okay? It's not just pretty hair on that lad. He understands that if he goes for a wonder with 4 other players still on the field, he's going to be screwed. No matter how many outposts he builds. So right now, he's waiting for one more player to get eliminated, because then it becomes a manageable number, right? Then it's also manipulatable still. Oh. Dinky. Well, there might be peace between purple and pink, both looking at each other and saying, we're almost the same color, let's be friends. But yellow is a little bit more volatile, a little bit more different. Dinky is starting to be a pain in the ass. Red Palace has been sniped out. Guildhall has not been rebuilt. Now, if betrayal occurs here, this is going to backfire real quick. Okay, so we did finally get confirmation. Yeah, Pathless is his own person. No Calp. But still, like, I believe Pathless is a higher rank right now than Calp, so doesn't really deviate from the pro feeling here. Question is, do they know about this? Is there snitching? I really wish we had the chat. The chat is what's missing from this. If we had chat, we could easily just see if people are like, you know, snitching, like, yo, I've taken out the landmarks on the eastern front. If you want to make a move right now, wink, wink. Because I guarantee there's going to be temptation. If you saw that typed out, both David Kim and Matisse instantly look at Pathless' base like, well, someone is primed for the taking. So apparently Dinky just keeps telling everyone to look at the scores. Yeah, but scores are a lie. Everyone knows it's just vision, guys. He's definitely not that strong. Like, all the typing, I am just imagining is constantly Dinky right now. Because Dinky, like, right now, he's just looking at going, well, I mean, I've killed Pathless' buildings, but for what reason? Like, surely we should be heading south. Surely Snoopa needs to be checked in upon. There has to be something going on down there. So apparently Dinky was offering relics for peace. You fool. HRE doesn't need that many Okay, my mistake. HRE definitely needs that many relics. He still only has 1. After all this time. How has Matisse only got 1 relic still? At 43 minutes into the game. You'd think someone would have been eliminated that had a single 1, but nope. He got yoinked on all sides. I mean, where is David Kim's? He must have picked up some for there to be so little for his opponent here. But I don't see it. Am I blind? Who the hell snatched all the relics? Probably Dinky. Wait, what? Pathless, what's this move? Oh, he's racking up the carrot kills. He's moving up north. Why? What are you doing here? This is not the time to use this. This is not the time to use this. Snoopa is still cruising. And Pathless is begging for a bruising. Dinky probably just said, never mind. Pathless attacked me, and instantly Snoopa's like, all right then. Time to go back into the Frenchies. Town center's going to go down. Everything pretty much dead here. Pathless only staying alive because no one's attacked his main base. He chose most poorly here. And for all that, he killed a single keep. Lost 1 carrack. Now, luckily for him, As we can see, this does not belong to Dinky. This was one of Nevix's keeps from earlier on. Although Dinky doesn't really have much left on this coast. He did move inland, remember? And my God, has he got big! Look at the size of him! He even started to wall himself in. He's not going to easily be flanked into anytime soon. Dinky, we highlighted earlier and we warned about it. This guy is a cockroach. He will find a way to recover, and he's done exactly that. All hail the Delhi Empire. Guys, Snoopa's still a problem. Do you guys maybe want to look at Snoopa sometime? Because here's the concern, folks. The longer they wait to deal with Snoopa, the bigger these surpluses get. And it means that he can actually run a sizable military with no eco for longer. I would be very concerned about a wonder victory starting to emerge over the tree line in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Because you know that Snoopa's going to have a fat enough economy for it. These weird little proxy walls on the sides. Oh. I feel like the initial resources in the areas are pretty much gone. Oh, they've had enough. War is back on. Matisse and Paphilis, their treaty was not fully signed. As he starts to get raided into. He'll be back off the moment. The keep is going down. And there it is, ladies and gents. It's happening. Snoopa with the wonder. And nicely positioned right at the back. The prayer hall of Uqbar protected to the south and north side by the mountainsides. Quite nicely, actually. There's only one way in. I'm pretty sure there is actually only one way in, unless Snoopa chops through the trees. So, considering the players on the other side of the map have spent the last 46 minutes pummeling the crap out of each other, good luck! Because there is a lot to get through. By the way, remember that Snoopa is also playing as the Abbasids, which means this most definitely with this many structures. So not only has he got this many buildings to produce military units, he's producing them 20% quicker. That's going to make this all the more difficult. And considering that they hadn't really discovered airborne units in the Imperial Age, I don't think we're going to get any sort of Normandy-level airborne drops behind enemy lines anytime soon here. And here we go. Dinky, he says, fine, if nobody else is going to do it, I'll do it. Moves in. 13 elephants on the go. Need to be careful. Cannonballs ready to crush these poor innocent creatures at any turn and every turn. And there's going to be plenty of cannonballs being fired. Oh, this always gets so ridiculous. Look at the amount of... How are you getting through here? How many of these upgraded as well? Practically all of them, right? I think like one or two, maybe not. Good luck. By the way, that's another reason why Snoopa didn't have enough stone at first to build the wonder. Obviously wanted to delay it because of the player situation, but it's because he's been upgrading so many of these outposts with cannon emplacements, which cost 300 stone each. Meanwhile, Matisse and Paphilis still unable to see past their differences. Paphilis says, yeah, Snoopa, love his hair. Woo, great streamer. I'm going to help him out. Blows up half of the military district of Matisse. I think there's going to be a price to pay for this, my friend. And it is not going to be cheap. Because you have to remember that at any point, Matisse can instantly kill you now. And you just chose to poke the bear. What is Paphilis? I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, did someone donate subs to Like, did he get paid? Agent Paphilis has been remarkably effective at assisting Snoopa so far, and he continues to do that. I just don't get this choice. Paffy, buddy, there's a bigger concern down here. Go deal with that. Because the only reason you're alive right now is the fact that Matisse hasn't chosen to end you, but that's about to change. I think he's had enough of this. He's going to turn around, march straight back, and you know what? He can afford it. Look at the numbers that Matisse has built up. Wait, what? 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 Run! The general misled us. But they'll lead themselves straight into a villager butchering right here. I mean, Paphilis is pretty much done at this stage. He has nothing left. Starts to get assaulted. Straight in his main base. The only upside right now is Puppy Paw hasn't assaulted him because Puppy Paw is busy breaching to the south. He's the one who has his eye on the prize, understands that this is going to be won by Snoopa. They continue to fight so frivolously in the north. However, Paphos did not get that memo. Or at least he did get that memo. He saw that Matisse's name was on it, and then he wiped his balls with it. Because he's shown no respect to this lad. No union to go after Snoopa. Instead, he will renew the grudge match between the two. And the Trebs will put an end to that grudge match very quickly. There's only 2 landmarks left. Remember, he never rebuilt over here, folks. This is just all drained to the bone. Meanwhile, the elephants, no! They only just got through the wall. And the Trebs are in trouble as well. Dinky King awoke the beast. Snoopa is going to clean him up here. And then instantly, Snoopa needs to respond to the south side. Some ground is going to be gained, but oh my god. Puppy Paw has so far to go. So far! I don't even know if it's going to be quick enough. 10 minutes. 10 minutes! And Snoopa has plenty of room to build more outposts in. Not to mention all these choke points, they're just going to slow down your army anyway. Oh, this does not bode well for the Northern Alliance. Then again, was it really ever an alliance? Matisse says, fine. If I can't get first, I'll make sure that Patholus gets 4th. 5th. Numbers are hard. There's only a school of cavalry remains. Should be easy to move in. Patholus is apparently blaming Dinky for all the walling. Not letting him in, not sharing the resources. Although, if that is your defense, is it a great defense considering that you attacked every player around you? Minus Puppy Paw. I'm not saying you had this come. Actually, yeah, I'm saying you had this come. Not saying you deserve to die. What? You die. TC down, roll through. Matisse will look for the final landmark, and that will bring an end to the rabble in the south as Patholus will be removed from the table. There's no way he lets you live, right? There's no way he lets you live. I mean, he sees the school of cavalry. This is all dead. In fact, Dinky King is just placing roses on your body and rebuilding where your base once was. It'll take his time, but there's no way in hell. Patholus is trying to lie to us and say he's going to survive this. I mean, there's believing and then there's delusion. All right, it looks like Dinky doesn't want to lose another 1,000,000 elephants to the towers. We only managed to tune in as they were being mopped up after they got through the wall. This time, it's going to be 1,000,001 spears going down. Patholus, he's actually going to let him live. What? Matisse, buddy. Like, fool you once, shame on you. Fool you twice, shame on who? It's going to be shame on you. He's already stabbed you in the back once. He's going to do it again. Do not trust this grass snake. But it seems he's going to let him live. He says, I ain't got time to finish him off. I can't afford an extra minute. I got to go. 8 minutes left. Trebs starting to work their way through the defenses, but Snoopa, I mean, it's going to take so long. You need bombards. You need bombards so badly. Trebs aren't quick enough. Oh, no. This is at a cruel right now. You've got so far to go. Meanwhile, look who's making the moves in the south. Puppy Paw starting to gain a decent amount of ground here. And villagers moving in to establish a new base. More defenses going up from Snoopa. Needs to delay this longer. I think this is where things start to ramp up, because if Matisse doesn't go back to deal with Patholus this time, he can breach through the center and he'll have the shortest route directly towards the Hall of Uqba. Dinky King apparently didn't realize that... there we go. He finally realized that we are in the Imperial Age now. And therefore, big boom booms can be pretty handy. I say that. I want some villages. Now, let's be real here. Cannon emplacements are a bit absurd. The fact that they get 10 tower range, like even a slight nerf down to 9 tower range would be reasonable. It's kind of baffling that Bombards get sniped by that. Oh, torches out. Spearmen have had enough of waiting around. Oh, the move through. Camel Riders rushing in. Illuminate on top of those trebuchets. Gonna get blocked by the spears. Heavy damage being done, but 384 health on the camels. Means they should be able to snipe down some of these trebuchets successfully. I say that, not with... What? What was that walk around? Okay, that walk around is just gonna get you killed. Anyone like camel meat? I'm opening a butcher shop. There'll be plenty of chunks of Snoopa left to eat afterwards because it's about to get a bit frisky. Trebs halfway through the outpost line. New outpost line being built up by Snoopa. He hasn't reached critical pressure yet. Remember, he is still 5.5 minutes out. And it's about to turn to 3 players hard pressuring into his base. As another line of outposts are going to start to be breached. And Patholus, he's finally realized that maybe it's a good idea to work together. He's moving in. Carracks are going up the waterfront. They'll look to target onto the outpost. Do need to be careful about this, though. It's not really an effective trade, folks. The Carracks, 1,400 HP. But remember, these cannons, they get bonus damage. They do about 160, 170 per shot. While these Carracks, they have less range than those defenses. So wheelers, dealers, bombards are going to show up to assist, and this is another reason maybe the Carracks are a bad idea, folks. Because if they get in range, they might start accidentally opening fire on Matisse, forcing him to put this puppy down. And Patholus surprised by the amount of outposts. Although then again, what was he really... Like, surely he should be happy. This is the one thing he can do. He has no land force. So it's not like he was going to be able to rush towards the Wonder on sea. As he whips up the Pirates of the Caribbean theme tune and just begins his march north. However, he has negligible damage. Matisse is the one doing the hard work here. Even pulls the villagers forward to make sure he keep most of the bombards alive. The line's going to go down quick. Take a note, Dinky. This is what you need. 1,000,001 bombards. Got to get those things nerfed more. Treb's a little bit too slow. Dinky's in. Question is, how deep can you get and how fast? Like, who is going to win the race here? Right now, Puppy Paw, he has been slow about this, right? He did go hard in the trebuchets, but he's been doing it a lot longer. That's the difference. That's the credit he's due. Question is, how's his resource count looking? Yeah, he's thrifty. He's got plenty to keep on pushing. Needs to march soon, though. And it looks like he did get wiped out by Snoopa's army moving across, but now Snoopa, he has this uncomfortable shift. You can see what's happening. It's the wheeler's deal. When you go for these slow-moving artillery units, it's going to take you 1,000,001 minutes just to get across the other side, and you are going to pinch on both sides. It's, oh my god! The elephant count! Dinky King, big Zoo Tycoon fan here. I think someone's been watching a few too many Animal Kingdom documentaries here. Dinky King was deeply struck by the realization that the elephants are becoming extinct, and he wanted to do what he could to help that by setting them off on a mating season. However, what's about to happen next might not help their numbers. March in. Camel Archers and the Camel Riders. Camel Riders, remember, this is a cavalry unit. They do get bonus damage against them, and look how tanky they are. The Tau Elephants up at 1,152 health each. And they protect the bombard line. Trebs are going to be a little bit exposed. First line going down for Snoopa. Snoopa forcing his opponent away for the moment. And this is a heavy investment for Dinky. Dinky, he's got enough to replace this once over, but twice over might be a stretch. Already down to 19 elephants. Skull's trying to keep him alive as they rush forward, trying to get in the melee range, do the additional damage. Wrap around on the north side, trying to stab in on the bombards. The bombards that are quickly sniping down those camels. And they're quickly going to fall. Barely any left here. Just 4 bombards remaining. Scholar's not doing enough healing. Down to 9 elephants. It looks like he's getting shredded. Snoopa is going to wipe the army, and Dinky is going to be back to square one. But at least this time, it's not a roguelike game. He does get a checkpoint. He has erased the first line of defense, but now he realizes how difficult it is when you go deeper into the Abbasid Empire. Meanwhile, on the west side, Matisse is in. He's pushing forward. Now, this is the concern for Snoopa. Snoopa, with the increased production rates in the big production district, he can quickly replace his army, but how many armies are you going to spend? Look at the numbers! Look how drained he is right now. 1 minute and 30 seconds left, but he's got nothing left in the chamber. So one hard push, one quick breach could end him. In fact, look what's happening. It is a rush. It is a move. The move around the back. Puppy Paw is in. He fights the snake in. The backside sneak. He comes in on the waterfront. Doesn't even need a rowboat to get up there, and in his junk, Snoopa in trouble. He's got limited time, 1 minute 20, but the damage is only increasing. This is going to be quick enough. Snoopa does not have any army anywhere nearby. No resources left, no chance in hell. Pipped at the post, 1 minute out. The Peasant Rebellion will shut him down. Woo! Puppy Paw! When there's a puppy paws in Snoopa's brain, he doesn't know what just happened. He's confused. How the hell did it backfire like this? And now how do you recover? Barely any economy. Your win condition gone. There is no way to rescale here. It's a party in Snoopa's base as they'll mock his attempt at victory. And now they'll return to their homelands. Matisse shifts away, but Dinky won't stop. Remember, in Elephant December, when the massacre did begin, he can think of no reason why the Australian treason can go unpunished again. And even Pathless now showing up for a party. He'll wipe out a lot of Snoopa's forces, soften him up, so that Dinky can reap his revenge. Because you know he's not going to stop. He's sick and tired of the animal abuse that has occurred in this war. Elephants and camels, too many dying on each side. He'll try to bring it to an end for good. And he knows that when these troops are gone, Snoopa, there's no way in hell that he can replace him again. His military count was too high. His economy must have been flatlined. And Puppy Paw gets himself a staging point to also go and assist with the finish. Naked Horseman right now, not upgraded to elite status. The bigger concern is Matisse. Look at Matisse's march. Matisse. Pathless. He got too comfortable. I think he's about to die next. He never rebuilt, remember? And you know that Matisse has been waiting for this moment, waiting for an opportunity for vengeance. Now, you do have to respect the night count. Pathless is not out of this yet. He could still be a thorn in the side of Matisse. In fact, the better move he could have made right now, if he rushes back, he could make it into his opponent's base before the landmarks get sniped on his side. And he could just take Matisse out of the game. But right now, instead, he defends his own lands. He's like, I don't want to do it, Matisse. I don't want to have a war. But if you start, I'll finish. Dinky King. He's been watching too much Highland recently. Screaming there can be only one Australian. And it will not be Snoopa anymore. Very small quantity of bombards and mini bombards left in the hand cannoneers. There's finite troops remaining to defend the Abbasid Empire here. And Dinky. Yeah, he wants to have that on his CV. He wants to be the person that crushed the Abbasid dynasty. He killed Nevix in the north, and he might be responsible for getting rid of Snoopa in the south. Especially if Puppy Paw keeps assisting, but it looks like Puppy Paw's a little bit more chill. He's going to build up the Rams and send them in, but he's not going to hard commit because he understands that he might be a little bit vulnerable back at base. It all comes down to whether Matisse and Pathless begin to fight. This is too honorable, Matisse. This guy, he was raised with stories of chivalry. We all know what most of us would have done by now. Most of us would have wheeled over here, opened up fire with the trebuchets, instantly killed off Pathless, and then mocked him in the all chat. Okay, maybe that's just me. Although it would be deserved, in fairness. But you know what? The crazy part is we talked about Dinky as the cockroach. Pathless is kind of become the little cockroach here. Miraculously surviving despite everything that occurred here. Now, really, you've got to argue how much that is on his own merit versus the generosity of his neighbors. But then maybe he was a good sweet talker. Maybe he said some nice things. He said, Matisse, I'm big fan, Uwu senpai. Teach me your ways, but for teach me, I must live. So please not die today. I don't know why he spoke like that. Maybe because it seemed cuter at the time. It's like a ooh, Yoda. But it seems to have worked. As Matisse, he's malfunctioning. Oh no, the cuteness was too high. He's trying to convert to the same color as Buffalocy. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Well, I think we just got a preview of what cosmetics would look like in Age of Empires 4, you know? Anyone want to buy the Neon Light Pack skin for $20? Hell yeah. I'd pay $20 for that. Although, you know, it probably need to look a little bit prettier than, than the jankiness of this one. Dinky. He's calmed himself for the moment. Nobody's got in to finish off Snoopa. Everyone right now is scratching their head as to why Snoopa hasn't GG'd out. It's because he's recovering. We called him the rat. He's going to act like it. He's going to go back to the sewers and replot. Come up with a new plan to take over the world, just like he does every night. Be quite the comeback story if he could do it, but the issue he's going to have is if he does have to do it this time, there's already a staging base. Remember, Poppy Paw, he doesn't forget as easily. Not only does he not forget, he holds a grudge. 31 Rams! And Snoopa has no clue. And this could insta-kill him. Remember, he's playing the Abbasids, so it's this. This is everything. Town Center and the House of Wisdom. Now, admittedly, it's 30,000 health almost on that House of Wisdom. But that's a lot of Rams. 30 Rams doing 200 damage each. It's a ridiculous number. He's doing 6,000 damage every 5 seconds. So it won't last long. Meanwhile, looks like the war is back on. And oh my god, look at the turn of events. He goes in instantly onto Puppy Paw. No! The Rams won't see their fruit bear juice. They're just going to be ruined. What is this play, Matisse? Oh my god, he's just keeping Pathless as a pet. Pathless is he just a vassal now? Has he just been typing my lord every 2 minutes to make sure Matisse doesn't kill him? We're not going to see the Ram play. Oh no, I hope Matisse loses now. Oh wait, what? Wait, no, I didn't say that. Bars caster would never say that. But the Ram play on the this feels like when the robot is slowly dying and then its eyes start to fizzle out and short circuit. That's what's happening here. This is Poppy Paw going, Mr. Pigeon. I don't feel too good. And he's gone. And that means Snoopa gets to live. Snoopa, who still has a very healthy defense force here. Bombards, hand cannoneers, 1,000,001 outposts. And everyone's disappearing fast. Matisse quickly arising as the dominant force here in this match. But Dinky, that's still the rat I'm watching. In this rat race, I don't know. I can't not put my money on him. This lad has pulled off miraculous things. You know you're always almost guaranteed to get a top 2 finish out of him. I don't know how he does it. Question is, can he make it a #1 finish, finally? Or is he going to be pipped to the post again? As we are down to 4 people. Pathless, looking like the outside runner here. As he will run away to the south side of the map. Try and ensure that he can survive longer. However, remember that he has been Imperial for a long time. And, well, his landmarks, left, right, center exposed everywhere. And it means this School of Cavalry, this town center, that's all he's got left. No way he'll be able to sneak back in to where Dinky is. Probably pleading in the chat. It's like, Dinky-kun, can I please come rebuild my base? I'll make generous diplomatic donations of resources every 2 minutes. Dinky can't hear him. Dinky says, I don't speak English, speak Australian. As the Aussie boys, the only language they speak is war. They're back at it again. With it. While they may have failed to eliminate the emu population, they seem to be pretty damn good at eliminating the elephant population. Same on the camels. These numbers looking a lot less healthy than they once were, but the bombard count, oh my. I think Snoopa's holding a grudge back the other way now. He saw what Dinky tried to do after the Wonder went down, and now he's annoyed. 15 bombards rolling up, and now the panic defense is Dinky. This is a little bit too late. The cannon upgrade's going to take about 45 more seconds. They might be dead before you get those upgrades. You're going to be forced to fight. You're going to have to fight tooth and nail to hold on here. Now, remember, the landmarks aren't in this area for Dinky, but this is most of his forward infrastructure. He doesn't want to give over this sort of ground, show that vulnerability. The good news, however, is Dinky, he still hasn't done this. He can actually ship across to his starting point, rebuild the town center, and then he's not easy to eliminate. Because Matisse hasn't gone up here still. So he could survive up in this area should he go and rebuild his first landmark. You know what? Backup plans are for losers. Just win, lol. See if you can. Archers peppering away. No match for the hand cannoneers. However, with this micro, it's not going to be a fight you win. Maybe economically, though. Because remember, Snoopa's still been in recovery mode for quite a while, but he's more or less there now. 120 eco units back in the field. Bombard striking forward onto the artillery lines, bringing them down. Archers getting a little bit too close to the sun. It's not like they can run away from the bombards anymore, but now the Mangonels coming into play as well. Heavy damage being done. It's most of the Archer battalion being wiped out. Bombard count almost down under 10. And it looks like Snoopa might be repelled. Only artillery remains here. Dinky King just throwing away Zerg-like troops, crappy tier units that he doesn't care about. But elite archers at this stage, we're seeing it. They still do decent damage. Bombards will get through the defenses. Fall back for the moment from Dinky. Wants to rebuild the forces before going anew. You might do 13 damage, but you can see it doesn't matter against these bombards with 15 missile resistance. You do nothing. So you need some melee units. Even the villagers join the front. Snoopa pushing out more troops. The caravans are getting sizable again. Up to 40 total active traders at this stage. Meanwhile, Paphos, we missed it. He went down. They finished him off. The truce has been betrayed. Matisse says your time is up, mate. Time to annex you into the HRE Empire. Everything west of the map is now his. Oh, we kept looking back. We kept wondering when it was going to come. But when it came, it was so quick. So many trebuchets, so many bombards. Almost impossible. Apparently, we missed his play. Unfortunate we don't have a rewind button and action replay. Sometimes these things do slip through. So apologies for that. And it seems that he made the move first. Yeah, he went for the he went for the snipe for the Knights. Oh, Paphos. If only I was watching this absolutely when it was live, so you could just have, you know, listened to me make that call a long time ago, because it was too little too late to attempt that. There is no way with Knights you're going to be able to snipe that many landmarks before you got taken down. Narcy comes to a just and deserved end. And now look at this, Dinky. He's rolling out. He bided his time. He forced a pushback. Snoopa forced to recover, lost the troops here. Getting baited left, right, and center. Apparently there was a play on the villagers. Makes sense, actually. That's the only thing that could do it. They are pretty healthy at 75 with the textiles. Like, this is the issue, right? You can't rely on these archers to deal with the siege. But now that the siege is gone, it's just these crappy camels. So all of a sudden, Dinky in a strong position and pushing forward fast. Snoopa still recovering. Just trying to replace what was lost. Things begin to get problematic. And look who's coming back. Matisse. Dinky isn't his target, isn't his priority. He's actually heading straight towards Snoopa's base. By the way, prime warlord play waiting to happen here. How many hand cannoneers? 21. Whew. Go out a quick way of rebuilding your army. Moving in the meantime, Snoopa, this is problematic. He's relying on the trade. The trade district has been found. Will be sniped out on that caravan line. No way he's getting through with any surplus resources. Has to take the fight here and now. Mangonel's firing into the line of Dinkies. Will take out half the archers straight away. And now the Russian camel archers getting on top of the artillery. Big mistake made here. Dinky bit off more than he could chew. He's going to be pushed back once more. However, decent damage has at least been done to the caravans. In fact, when we look down to 28, that is going to stunt Snoopa. As Snoopa, although he'll hold here, he has bigger problems on the horizon. Matisse is moving in, and Matisse is small right now. Definitely not small. 151 military pop cap. And practically all of it is here. And he's going to come in swinging hard. The only thing that's keeping Snoopa alive initially is going to be all these outposts. And right now, I feel like Matisse, he's somewhat being baited by the scores. Because as it stands, like, if Matisse went after Dinky, he could have wrapped around on the Snooper in time. Now, we get a situation presented where Dinky could actually go and kill Matisse if he's fast about this. And if he realizes what's happening. And he probably will very quickly. When he sees no standing army, he's holding him. His best move is probably to delete what's on the front line and then push into Matisse's base. Because at this rate, Matisse is going to win it for Dinky. That's not long to go now, folks. House of Wisdom. Close to being on that front line. The Bombards quickly erased the outposts. These outposts, although they've got the cannon upgrades, they just won't do against the Bombards. Superior. And their ability to just blast them down before they can even open a fire, really. Meanwhile, on the northern front, Dinky, I think he's aware now. He has to be scratching his head, like, where's Snoopa's troops? Is he out of resources? Do I go in to end him? I haven't seen Matisse in a while. Should I be worrying about that? But instead, Dinky doubles down on the Snoopa offensive. What an amazing name for an operation, by the way. And this means that Matisse might be the one to walk away with the win at this rate. I mean, the issue for Dinky is if he didn't make this play to the north, he's not going to make it anytime soon afterwards. Look at his resource count. Then look at Matisse's. Matisse almost has 100,000 food in reserve. He's not running out. Matisse kind of hesitant, taking his time a little here. But he needs to go in soon. The question is whether we are going to see a Hail Mary throw him. Whether we are going to be caught off guard. Is there a way that Matisse can be upset here? Because right now, he's looking like the dominant frontrunner. Ignore the scores. It's a lie. Snoopa, he only has 20,000 score primarily due to the vision that still remains on the map. In terms of combat, he is just completely outdone here. He goes for the fight. Camel Archer's trying to pepper on the spears. Just too many spears, though, zerging right through. They take the bonus damage from the camels, but the camels take it both ways. And it means they're going to instantly wipe there. Snoopa surrenders over, and now it's down to 2. Matisse and Dinky. Dinky once again in a top 2 position. Can he get the win this time? He's going to have to act fast if he wants to. And this was my concern, Dinky. Buddy, if you wheel that army all the way across, ooh, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. And now Snoopa, he still finishes with a higher score due to the power of these outposts. Really just a ridiculous score modifier, to be honest with you. Admittedly, he did have a lot of military infrastructure, but really not much to push out with anymore with the way he's resource drained. And now when we talk about resource drain, if this turns into a prolonged engagement, we just clearly can see Matisse has the lead. Dinky, he does at least have this infinite goal that Matisse seemingly doesn't have on the same scale, but it almost feels insurmountable. It's going to take a miracle, especially with how quickly Matisse is moving in position. In fact, he's already ready to go. He isn't going to delete the siege. You know what? He could convert this. He could come back for it later if he needs a secondary army. Wouldn't be a bad play. Now the question is, who's going to need to transition? Because when we think about this composition on both sides, it's fair to say that Matisse's looks a little bit more frisky. Like, yes, you've got archers in the mixer before to deal with the spearmen, but the spearmen are just kind of a distraction. They're a tanky distraction to get Langsneck in. That's the detail that's going to matter here. In fact, you can see it. 17 Langsneck, 17 hand cannoneers. The issue I have with Dinky's composition, he doesn't really have the reserves to go for super premium units long term. He can't just turn this into a slog as long as Matisse can. So it means if he wants to go for premium units, it's going to probably have to be a full-in premium army to gain as much ground as possible. The good news, if you are a Dinky fan, if you're an Aussie boy in the chat, cheering on your home lad, it's not far to trek to get towards those landmarks. That's an important detail to consider here. And also, Matisse condensed them. They're all on one screen. He played typical HRE, even in a MegaRandom Nomad, meaning he's prime target for sniping. Especially when you look at the comparison. Dinky King. Dinky. Buddy. Dinky. Dinky, rebuild the landmark. Rebuild the landmarks. Why have you not rebuilt the landmarks? All right. I changed my previous statement. Dinky's ass can well and truly be handed to him in the blink of an eye. As everything remaining that's important feels a little bit too condensed. In fact, where is his other landmark? So we've got the House of Learning here, and there's one more landmark to count. There it is. Palace of Sultans right here. So he's on the same screen as well. And also, that's exactly where Matisse is going to push. Oh my. The Age of Empires, Cockroach. It's your time to shine. A nuclear strike has struck the world. But Matisse, he was waiting in a fallout shelter. He's come out. He's emerged for his victory. You got to prove that you can overwhelm him here. It's not going to be an easy fight. Bombard sniping down the walls. Dinky. With a very dinky-looking economy here. Doesn't really have gold in the same quantity to build bombards like this. The hand cannoneers as well as the Langsneck. Also problems for the Australian. Matisse going to quickly move in here. First to strike. Because he's striking in your base, every building he takes down hinders your reproduction rates. Meanwhile, his own base is able to instantly replace anything lost. He's not being struck at home. Treb's rolling in. Dinky. He's trying to mass right now. Hopcat at 107, but remember, folks, Matisse, he went for 123. More sizable force here. Home front advantage is at least there for Dinky. There is hope. Here we go, it moves out. Mangonels, that is a poor shot coming out. Bombard start to target him out. Wrap around. Switches targets. Too much of a split here. Dinky with his army to the north, but his artillery exposed to the south. It's easy pickings. They move in. Bombard's trading against each other, but the melee falls straight on top of the artillery, able to snipe them as well. Hand cannoneers holding for the moment, but Dinky, where do you go from here? You need to move fast. Barely any bombards remaining. He's going to force Matisse away for the moment. Matisse losing the front line. Hand cannoneers rushing in, willing to trade them out to get rid of as many bombards as possible. He understands that Matisse doesn't want to turn around and fight. So taking advantage of that, but now with a streaking number of hand cannoneers, he's going to be forced to retreat. He already used the force march. It's not there to get him out of a jam. He doesn't want to get too deep. The end of that, Dinky King. Taking just a heavier hit at Matisse, but Matisse, plenty of reserves. We can see gold is going to be the limiting factor for both sides at this rate. Anything else, and it's always going to be Matisse favored. And Matisse now with a switch up in Horseman understands that if it is going to come down to gold, he needs to utilize the edge he has in food and wood. And we'll march out with it now. Horseman start to engage. Force march hasn't even been used. Dinky King. Dinky's just standing there. He's going to fight now. Spears start to wrap around. Horsemen are going to be folded fast. Hand cannoneers. Not many of them here for Matisse. Matisse needs to get more troops on the front line soon. He's rebuilding back at base. Langsneck. Horseman. Spearman. Everything in the mixer. Hand cannoneers holding in the choke point for the moment for Dinky. Bombard starting to emerge. Dinky, he's gaining ground fast here. Matisse has to peel back further. He's still got so far to go. He's still got to get through the stone wall. He's still got to get through the secondary army that's built up. Matisse is not going to go down without a big fight here. But Dinky, he's starting to make us question it. Is there a way? Is there hope? Is there an opportunity to strike back and win this? How does he win this? With a forced march, moves in on the trebuchets. Instantly targets them down, blitzes through them. Remember, 42 damage per shot, outdoes the 11 missile resistance. The trebuchets are all dead. Heavy investment lost. Matisse, the gold war is being won by Dinky right now. And also, because he's starting to pin you in his base, he can start to expand out to any remaining gold deposits he might find. However, right now, the only one doing anything like that is Matisse, as you can see down in the south side here with the most suboptimal gold route I've ever seen in my life. We won't talk about that again. Dinky's in. He's found it all. Pop capped right now. Matisse is forced to march out. And look at this now. Dinky may be in trouble. Out of position. Bombard sniping out all the buildings. Hand cannon is a little bit too deep. Front line to try and hold for the moment. But Matisse, is he thinking of just going into the base? That's the real question here. He could afford to do so, but instead he's going to wrap south. Tries to snipe out any villagers building up the archery ranges, but realizes he needs to actually take the main fight. Dinky turns to the north. 36 hand cannoneers here. A thrifty investment. Matisse is going to respect it for the moment. No mangonels to instantly wipe that force. Only bombards. Bombard count now in favor of Matisse, but Dinky, he understands he can't just wait around. If he does this for too long, it will work to his downfall. Starts to move in. Elephant, role-playing as Reinhardt here, tanking all the fire. Will go down. Natural predator, the elephant, emerges victorious as usual. Now the split, trying to wrap around the sides. Matisse wants to get around the back of the hand cannon, is forced to engage. Counts the artillery, starts to snipe them out. Front line's folded. Langsneck looking for the value of the staggered formation, giving maximum value to Dinky King to make sure he doesn't get shredded straight away. Holding for the moment. The wraparound is too strong. Spearman forced off to the north side by the Horseman, and the Langstick remaining will cleave through the remaining hand cannoneers. Dinky instantly replacing the troops, but now drained out of gold, down to 200 surplus. The Bombards reign supreme. Matisse looking dominant from here on out. It's hard to see how Dinky recovers this. Cannot snipe out the Bombards quick enough. Cannot deal with the hand cannoneers or the Langstick fast enough. He rebuilds the walls, but behind it, a smaller force of hand cannoneers only remains. Matisse. This is where he'll look to go for the dub. Dinky rebuilds instantly to pop cap. Matisse is there with him though, holding his hand. But soon he's going to take his hand and give the backhand to Dinky's cheeks. Especially with so much siege remaining. And starting to pivot in favor of Matisse. This wraparound from Dinky is ambitious, to say the least. And the waypoint units might just die here. I don't think he's even realized it just yet. He'll finally start to attack them. But he needs to come out. Walls break, rushes out with the spears, with the hand cannoneers. Force march chasing in. Brace to the front line. Horsemen start to engage. The wraparound Langstick trying to get on that front line. Hand cannoneers really not find their value. The Bombards are still not addressed. And Dinky King, he's being picked dry now. There's barely anything left in the coffers. Any way to hold back. Matisse will once again win a fight here. Dinky tries to wrap around with the remaining forces on the Bombards, but they're just too damn chunky. And even if you wipe his front line, you know he's going to come back with a vengeance straight away. A vengeance that you just cannot match. And with so little hand cannoneers remaining, with so little gold remaining to replace them, it feels like Dinky might just about be done in this game. Ground is going to be forfeited. And from there, the game will be forfeited. The mangonels, Dinky King, these waypoints, buddy, they're not working for you. They're working against you. The most underwhelming backstab we will ever see in Age of Empires 4 history. Once more into the breach with Matisse breaking through into the base again, and Dinky's numbers beginning to dwindle. It looks like the pole is going to come out ahead. Matisse will dominate from mid to end here. Snoopa, the only one who seemingly stood a chance of overcoming the HRE Giant, as he will win the Mega Random.